Playing with a boy. Do-do-do-do. Playing with a boy. Ya-da-da. T-T-T and sunsets. Get-a-dee-dee-see-boo playing with a boy. Boy! Love a good boy, and boy, do I love playing with boys of all ages. Clip it, Bex! Sports Mass Collective episode 89 will be at 100 episodes, probably right around the end of the year, 11 weeks, maybe a couple bonuses. Yeah, it's probably about the end of the year. Our centennial 100th episode on the horizon. Unbelievable what's happening out here. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. God bless you all. The numbers that have been coming across my desk in the last month or so are frankly unbelievable. Really unbelievable. A lot of things, the public can't see the numbers, especially the patreon.com Ski Mask Media. God bless everyone who's been joining. The best way to support the show, the poor boy. I mean, Ski Mask is on food stamps, as he told us a couple weeks ago on Ski Mask Collective. Ski Mask is buying pumpkins with EBT cards and just having sex with them. So, yeah, $3. Not only just $3 to support us on the Patreon, but we actually put out more content than these people who actually do this for a living, Rackmate, because we leave our house. And it's unbelievable what's happening out here in the sports world. The New York Mets are not dead yet, as the great Lord Huron song Not Dead Yet says. Go pull it up on Spotify or iTunes. They keep plugging away, folks. The New York Mets, when we last spoke, the Mets had won their series and are waiting to start this series with the Japanese Dodgers. And bit of an odd series so far. Vientos, another huge home run, grand slam in game one. And then since then, it's really, the games have, frankly, there's been some contentious points in these games, but what is the actual? But they've been kind of blowouts either way since then, haven't they? Let's take a look. I don't have a producer. I don't care about a producer. We're real people. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the, let me make sure I'm right. Yeah. Oh no, game one, we got our dicks blown off. That's right. I'm sorry. 9-0. Game two is the Vientos grand slam. We won 7-3. Then Dodgers won 8-0. Then Dodgers won 10-2. Then we won 12-6. So, like I said, I am right because I'm Stancil Stradamus. Yeah, really not a close game in the bunch this series. The game two was a decent close game until Vientos hit that grand salami, and that did it. But each game has really been decided way before it ended either way. And I will say, after the 8-0 loss in game three, the 10-2 loss in game four, after the 8-0 loss in game three, I had the feeling once again that the Mets, my beautiful, beautiful overachieving Mets, had ran out of gas. And once again, prove me wrong. I thought for sure that was it. I thought we were out of gas in that Brewers series before Alonso hit that miracle home run. In the Phillies series, similar thing. And, a 10-0 loss with an 8-0 loss before it is rough, especially when you're playing a team like the Dodgers. And then the Mets come out yesterday and put up 12 fucking runs. And we're going back to LA. We're playing a game six. It's officially a long series. This is what, as fans, you want. This is what, as the networks, you want, by the way, to get to these game sixes and hopefully game sevens. And the Mets, once again, are right where we want to be. The underdog, no pressure. We've been written off since before the season ended, essentially, much less in each of these series. So the Mets are where they've been all this whole playoff run. Backs against the wall, have to win. Nobody's picking them to win. They're going back to L.A. across the country for 2 games against the Dodgers, who are a very good team, obviously full of Japanese people. And I'll get to the Japanese in just a second because I was screaming about atomic bombs. I was screaming about atomic bombs at the best bar in America, and everybody loved it. I mean, when Octane would get up to bat, I just say, remember, never forget Nagasaki, never forget Hiroshima. I mean, they said, like, me and Mead, the great Aunt Mead, were texting yesterday or whatever day it was about the Japanese Dodgers. And I mean, the Japanese buy panties out of fucking vending machines. They like cyborgs rather than actual women. I mean, it's a lost country. They're the class of Asia, but it's still Asia. So as great as Otani may be, his country was still atomic bombed to death, and they lost World War II for sure. So I'll never forget that. So no matter what happens in this series, folks, just never forget World War II. I mean, my grandfather, if you watch Ski Mask Media, you all know, my own grandfather was, in fact, bombed by Japs. That was the headline in the paper. You've seen it. I've showed it on the Ski Mask Collective multiple times. So no matter what happens here, it's really a big win for America. Otani, his family, his ancestors were bombed to hell by the American Armed Forces. With the only time atomic bombs were used on humankind was Japan. And they can overcompensate all they want. Otani can hit 79 billion home runs and strike everyone out. But your country was still bombed by America. And so even if the Mets lose, we really win. We have freedom. We're not a socialist country. So it's going to over Kamala Harris. And so anywho, this is all sports related, of course. The Mets are going back to L.A. Frankly, no pressure, all the momentum. And I know this sounds... It is straightforward to say, but it's no big deal. I was actually talking, me and Aaron Berg last night were talking at one of the soccer ball clubs, fellow Mets fan, of course. And again, I leave my house. I don't just, like all these other shows in our sphere, just talk about the same people over and 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 over. Ray DeVito, Shuley, Steel Toe, Bob Levy, Carl, Ray, Steel Toe, Bob Levy, Carl, Ray, Gino, Cumia, Steel Toe, Bob Levy, Cumia, Gino, Steel Toe, Bob Levy. Oh, Gustav, oh, Borgo, oh. You fucking suck! I'm talking to the best comics about real sports in real cities, in real life, folks. Me and Aaron Berg were talking about the Mets. He's a little in an odd turn of affairs. I find myself to be more optimistic than Aaron Berg about our Mets. So my point I was getting to is it's straightforward, I know, but there was 3 steps involved in the Mets getting the World Series going into yesterday, as I was explaining to Aaron Berg last night. No big deal. Step 1 was winning the Game 6 yesterday, what they did easily against those Japanese Dodgers, draft Dodgers, if you will. Step 1 is done. Now you go to L.A. The next step is getting to Game 7. I know that's a mongoloidal thing to say, but it's important. And I think the Mets are a type of team not to get ahead of themselves and look at Game 7. They take each game as it is, which is why they are where they are. They have a very good habit of, especially late in the season here, of putting losses behind them and getting to the next game. The chemistry is off the charts in that clubhouse. Let me tell you, as somebody who spends a lot of time with these players in the city. Step 1 is complete. Step 2 is getting to LA, which we are, and finding a way. Game 6 is the biggest game. And I know that's a little bit silly to say, but my point is, if the Mets get to Game 7, I'm pretty confident the Mets win Game 7 with the makeup of this team, the gumption, if you will, we've shown. Pete Alonso's fat cock, which pictures going viral of Pete Alonso's fat hog. I'd like to see what kind of pumpkin he's pumping. Probably the playoff pumpkin. I mean, Pete Alonso's playoff pumpkin getting pumped by Pete. I mean, say that 9 times fast in front of your daughter. But anywho, so the biggest game is tomorrow for the Mets, folks. We got to win that Game 6. Get us to that Game 7. And as my T-shirt says, put it in the books, in my opinion. We got Sean Manaea on the mound. I like that. He's a man of gumption. Gumption is the word of the show, folks. So find a way, Metsies. Find a way to win the Game 6. And Game 7s are Game 7s. They're almost a season unto themselves, a season in one night. All the pressure. And listen, the Dodgers had a pretty easy road up till here. I mean, I know they had a tight series with the Padres, but there really was no. It was more of a pretty straightforward series. The Mets, meanwhile, I mean, the pressure situations they've been in the last 2-3 weeks alone are more than most teams go through in a season. So that's why I say get the Mets to Game 7, and you know they're going to believe they can win it. And then you win Game 7, and the rest is history. Then all of a sudden, National League champions, ashes from the, Phoenix from the ashes, if the Mets win the National League this year. Nobody saw that coming just a mere 3-4 weeks ago. So, yeah, again, I know it's mongoloidal to say, and you know my feelings on Mongo Bongos, but as I explained to my dear friend Aaron Berg last night, get us this Game 6 win tomorrow is the biggest game. And then I believe Game 7 is going to take care of itself on Monday night. That's the state of the Mets. Did I miss anything? No, I'm a professional. I do this in my sleep. Yankees bats are waking up, although they had a brutal loss 2 nights ago to Cleveland. But, I mean, I know it's nothing new, but when those bats are alive and you have Soto, Judge, and Stanton, I mean, that's just not fair. That's literally, if you were to make a team on a video game, you would put those guys 3, 4, 5, and they're actually on a team in real life. So I don't have much on the Yankees, but if all those bats wake up, which it looks like they're doing, the other three teams, whoever the hell they are, Cleveland, Mets, Dodgers, who cares? They pretty much can all stay home if those guys are going to all hit at the same time. Those are 3 Hall of Famers in a row in their prime. So watch out, folks. Although I will say Cleveland has surprised me. I thought Yankees were going to steam them, and they still may. I think if the Yankees win today, this thing is over. But credit to Cleveland for showing, again, word of the day, gumption. Tell your friends, folks. Gumption. I got to go to a wake. In a little bit. My friend's dad died, so don't worry. Feel free to send a super chat, but mostly just join the Patreon for $3. My point is, I don't know how long I'll go, although I say this every week, and then I always end up at an hour. But feel free to, I don't really have, we're going to get to the football here in a second and the Jets debacle. Talk about it. I mean, listen, the Mets have thrown it in our faces about being same old Mets. Meanwhile, the Jets are hitting all the Jet notes this year, aren't they, folks? Jesus Christ. By the way, my friend's newly dead dad, a legendary character, but it was I've told the story, I think, not in a while maybe, but I did once have a real Desert Eagle in my mouth and pulled the trigger. That's a true story. An actual chrome Desert Eagle was in this very mouth, and I pulled the trigger. I made sure it wasn't loaded before, but who knows? I've seen the after-school commercials where kids have gotten high and blown their heads off. That's a classic tale. Partying at my friend's house, parents away, and his younger brother knew the code to his gun safe and opened it, and just a massive 50 cal Desert Eagle in there. And as a man from the hood, I go directly for that Desert Eagle. I checked the chamber. I made sure there's no clip in it, put it in my mouth in front of the whole party, and pulled the trigger. And that's why I'm Jim Stansel, and that's why these other people put potatoes over their face and socks on their hands, and and just talk shit about people, and don't have their own shows, and don't put out original content. You can guess who I'm talking about, a bald guy who's a regular on MLC. And apparently Ski Mask got a call from Kevin Brennan live on MLC last night. So we're still deep in Kevin Brennan's thoughts, as we should be. Kevin Brennan is my unofficial dad, my spirit animal. I still love him. Again, if you listen to what we actually say, we just want what's best for Misery Loves Company, which has turned into a pretty sad telethon of the same losers over and over again. As I say, we are the original losers, and that was the fun of it. Every once in a while, he would give us a call, and now the show every day is losers. I mean, the Kill Everything guy, this fat, disgusting Liam guy. I mean, nobody losers. Like, we would come on and be made fun of our nobodies and losers. These guys are on every day, and they think they're actual people because Kevin doesn't have a show anymore. But very sad, very, very sad. But we still hold out hope. That's why we still talk about it. We're going to make MLC great again, but that's besides the fucking point. Let's get to more sports. I'll get to the poor people chat. Oh, wait a minute. I was going to just say, unless you want a super chat, I'll get to the poor people chat when I can. And sure enough, we got a couple super chats, and I'm a man of my word. Sam V, pumpkins for sale. Pumpkins for sale at Discord Spurgtopia. Join now. Still have no idea what Spurgtopia is. I don't go on Reddit. I don't go on Discord. I'm not gay, as you can see. I'm an alpha male. I don't spend time on the internet. I haven't played a video game in over a decade. I'm an adult. I live in the world. If I have free time, I go outside. I leave my house. But thank you, Sam V, for getting it rolling. Nice podcast, stupid. Yo, Jay, how was kissing Michelin? I'm jealous, dog. Yeah, I touched front faces with Keanu's mom. When was that? Last year, over at the compound. And that means I'm one step removed from kissing Keanu, because aren't they Eskimo sisters? And they both, and I'm not telling tales out of school. Keanu's talked about it. They both railed the same dude. Beautiful lady, older lady, big trumper. I'm all in on Michelin. I wish I could have gone to the wedding. I'll talk about it more on Ski Mask Collective next time we do it, probably tomorrow or Monday. But my dog's eye, I couldn't go anyway because of soccer ball club responsibilities, and I'm a real person, and I live a real life. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have gone to Gino's wedding. And then my dog's eye had to be ripped out of his head on Thursday, so I had to do a bunch of prep stuff for that. Feel free to send super chats and join the Patreon for that fucking bill. I'm not going to tell you what that was, but it was 4 figures and not the bottom 4 figures. But yeah, so all that put together, I unfortunately couldn't have gone down to the Carolinas for the Keanu nuptials. But Mead gave me a full report, said it was pretty much as expected. Obviously, everyone was asking for me, and I can't thank you enough. Everybody's clamoring to get Stansel Stradamus down there. And I would have loved to go on, truly. If I had a teleporter, I would have been there. I actually saw Gino. Gino also came by the soccer ball club. Was that Wednesday? Friday? It's all a blur, folks. But anyway, I saw Gino as well. I saw Gino and Berg in back-to-back days. How about that? Apparently, they're smoking cigars together. Nice to see it's amicable. It warms my cold, dead, stinking, wop, Polak heart. But anyhow, remember our motto from last week, folks, as the British guy said for that dating betting app commercial. Hedging is for gardens. Me, press. Don't be a moron. Put more on. And that's what we're going to get to when we place more bets. That's what we get to when we place the bets. Now let's get to the New York Jets. Talk about a desert eagle in my mouth. I really would love a loaded gun just to put on the floor, perhaps a rifle. Put that bad boy, put the butt of that gun on the floor. Just put the top right into my palate, the hard mouth palate here, and just really push that trigger with my big toe, because the Jets are jetting, folks. Fireman Ed's gay. He's riled up. Fireman Ed is the cowbell man of the Jets, by the way. A fucking jinx. They haven't won anything. The Mets haven't won anything since goddamn cowbell man came on the scene. The Jets haven't won anything with this hack Fireman Ed, who's always complaining like a bitch. Thank you, Sam V, and nice podcast, stupid. Nice pod. Didn't we send in the link, Ski? Wasn't he going to come on? Do a show with him today. I don't fucking care. This show, though, folks, as you've noticed, too much going on. It's High Octane October at Sports Mask. And unlike these other hack shows, I don't cop out. Guests are a cop out. Clips are a cop out. Stream sniping is a cop out. Reading comments all show is a cop out. It's all a cop out that these people can't carry a show on their own. And meanwhile, I don't even do this for a fucking living. These actual comics that podcasts do this for a living, and I'm out here doing this with my eyes closed. I literally am. You can't see it because of the glasses. My eyes are literally closed when I do this shows. It's so easy to me and so much fun. That's the thing. I do this, and we do this for fun. Yay! Views, money, all that bullshit is secondary, and God bless you all, but I do this for fun. I've been doing shows into camcorders since fucking beta tapes. So this is fucking light work for me. What was my point? Who cares? The Jets. The Jets. Another pathetic loss in a winnable game against a good team. And everybody's going to cite the two easy field goals missed by the kicker. It was like a 38-42. We lost by 3. There's 6 points left on the board there. And yes, it is true. Absolutely have to make those field goals. But I mean, hey, Aaron Rodgers, can you make a play? Are you a Hall of Famer? And I like Aaron Rodgers, but keeps talking, can't shut his mouth, and I don't mind that. I like that in my players. I like guys who aren't scared to speak their mind, but Hall of Famer, you came here, you had us bring on this fucking guy Hackett, who's for some reason is still in the clubhouse. I talked about it last week, makes zero sense. You had this Saleh guy here. We kept this Saleh guy here to be your puppet. He can't coach. I told you he couldn't coach since last year. He's barely a defensive coordinator at that, and he clearly couldn't coach. He'll never be a head coach again. You can rack me on that. The Nostradamus of national pastime, the Aristotle of athletics, and the Socrates of sport, Jim Stansel's Stradamus. You can rack me on that. Robert Saleh will never be a head coach again after how terrible he managed this team and the clubhouse. So, yeah, but this is all because Aaron Rodgers. This is literally your offense. Brought Hackett in to hold your pocket so you can do whatever you want. You're still running your own offense. I understand Breece Hall finally showed up last week. He couldn't. Before that, he was nowhere to be found. The receivers can't run routes, but Aaron Rodgers, make a fucking play. I've heard enough about this. He's complaining about the refs. Make a fucking play. You lost by 3 points. You're a Hall of Fame quarterback, maybe the best quarterback of all time, pound for pound. Make a fucking play. Make one play. Scramble. And I know we had that lucky Hail Mary. That's not making a play. I'm talking about doing an educated scramble. I'm not talking about running all over the field like Lamar Jackson. I'm talking about being a Hall of Fame quarterback, having pocket presence, knowing where to move, getting free enough to make a pass. Call a receiver in. Tell a receiver to go back. Change the play at the line. Something. But Aaron Rodgers, put up or shut up time, please. And I said this last week, and that's why I'm pissed. Because he could have put up or shut up last week. Make one play and you win the game. This, and the shitty part about the Jets is, the worst part about the Jets, and they did this last year with Wilson too, although the Bills ended up being a very good team. A winnable division. The Dolphins are done. The Patriots are done. You had the game won against the Bills last week, the team in front of you. And they can't just make a play. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback, can't make one fucking play. I'm not asking him to make every play. He could have made plays a few weeks ago, too. Enough, Aaron. Time to fucking put up or shut the fuck up, Aaron Rodgers. Please. Please. And then you got, get Mike Williams off this team. Mike Williams, what is Mike Williams doing? He can't catch a ball. He is not coming back to the ball. Then he caught a ball, and he just let a defender rip it out of his hands to basically ice the game. What is this guy doing here? Mike Williams. Get off my team, Mike Williams. Seriously, get rid of him. He's worthless. And we still haven't signed Reddick. They get this guy, and they play in these fucking games. Meanwhile, the defense is playing okay, but certainly not up to our standards. You know what we need? A rushing defensive end. You know who's on our roster? Reddick, one of the great rushing defensive ends in the league. And they play these fucking Jew owners. Sorry, YouTube lawyers. The fucking Woodies, they're Jewish, right? They gotta be. These guys. Just fucking paying. Again, they're playing these fucking games. They played the same games with Devontae Adams. Signed Devontae Adams 2 weeks ago. How is this even a thought? Devontae Adams and Rodgers played together for 5 years and had the best numbers in history as a QB wide receiver combo. As soon as this guy hinted that he wanted to go somewhere, get him here. There's nothing. Hey, Jets owners. There's nothing after this year. There's nothing. The whole point was to play this season as a Super Bowl season. Aaron Rodgers is 72. Get him over. Give Reddick whatever the fuck he wants. You know they're going to do it anyway, either next week or the week after. What is he going to sit all year? No. You got this guy here. I know he's being a shitty NFL player, begging for money. Pay him. We need him. We're not 5-2. We're not first in the division. We're not 4-2 and the other teams in the division are 2-3. We're in second. We're 2-4 now. We still have a shot at the division as it is. The Bills are only what? The Bills are what? 4-2? I just had the standings up here. I don't fucking care. Guys, I don't care. The Dolphins are now ahead of us, by the way, in the standings, which is pathetic. The Dolphins literally don't have a quarterback. I'm the quarterback for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are 2-3 because they had a bye week. The Jets are 2-4. The Bills are 4-2. We're 2 games back from the Bills. We win that game next week. The Bills are 3-3. We're both 3-3. And I believe we would have the edge since we beat them. I think if we beat the Bills last week, we would be in first place. That's how. And the Jets should be probably 4-2, if not 5-1 with the games they lost so far. Brutal. That game a couple weeks ago where receivers against the Broncos who, by the way, have now won 4 in a row. And by the way, Stantos-Stradamus, again, if you watched last week, I all but guaranteed their win in their last game. I told you they have the mojo. Bo Nix blowing dicks coming together there in Denver. So Stantos-Stradamus and rack me on that. I did it again. What else is new? I've never been wrong about anything ever. Rack me. Yes. So again, these pathetic losses, easily 4-2, if not 5-1. If they could just play, if they could get Reddick in here. Now they got Adams. Great, they got Adams. Why wasn't he here last week? Just waiting. The classic same old fucking Jets. Waiting until they have to. They never are proactive with anything. With signing people, with firing coaches. They have to go all the way to the brink till the fans are in an uproar, and then they have to do stuff. So they finally fired Robert Saleh. Great. Because they had no choice. Every news outlet, every fan, this guy's terrible, can't coach. No shit! He couldn't coach he shouldn't have been here this year. Davante Adams, free agent weeks ago. They keep losing these shitty games. Rodgers complaining like a bitch. Now they sign him. Can't do it when he's free. Can't sign Davante Adams, a guy who Rodgers played the prime of his career with. Didn't make sense to sign him 2 weeks ago. Now we have to sign him because we had no choice. It's just fucking same old Jets as same old Jets can be. Terrible penalties. And then, I mean, the cherry on top, the Bills are on 3rd down. The Jets are trying to stop them to have a chance, to get a field goal to win or, field goal to tie or whatever. 3rd and basically short. 4th quarter, time running out, no timeouts left. And they fall for a play action, and Josh Allen runs for an easy 1st down. How in what world? Now listen, I am an All-American lacrosse player, an athlete, a basketball, baseball, you name it. I excelled in every sport I've ever played. But I am, at the end of the day, a normal person. And even I know there is no chance in a million times, a million out of a million, the Bills were not passing the ball on a 3rd and short when the Jets have no timeouts, and the Jets fall for a play action. How? How is that possible? How dumb are these players, and how inept are the coaches to not go to say, hey, there is a greater chance in hell Stancil is gay and has a small penis than there is in the Bills passing on a 3rd down, 3rd and short in the 4th corner in the Jets. And the Jets fall for a play action. Classic Jets. Laughable. Embarrassing. Missed field goals. You got Aaron Rodgers, can't make a Hall of Fame quarterback. God forbid he makes one play. Penalties. Mike Williams, get off my team, can't catch a ball. And then you got a defense fooled by a play action on 3rd and short. And I don't know if it's the green. I'm starting to think it's the green color itself. They say like colors, what is the word? Intimate, they have to do, you wear blue, you're calm, you wear red, you're mad, that kind of thing. I think green is, I don't know if it's the color. I don't know if it's some kind of toxic dumping that went on in the Meadowlands. I don't know what happens with the Jets, but it's unbelievable. It's silly, honestly, as a realistic sports fan. It is silly when teams say, oh, it's the same team. These players turn over every 5 years. You basically have a whole new roster. It's just unbelievable how the Jets can run into the same problems year after year after year, and these pathetic, wrenching losses year after year after year. And now looking ahead, not easy. Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday night game. This has got a Jets loss written all over it. On the road in Pittsburgh, a team that's believing in themselves, a defense licking their chops, looking to get after a Hall of Fame quarterback, especially the way this O-line was supposed to be upgraded. I mean, they don't look upgraded. You got a 42-year-old quarterback getting blindside blasted into fucking Ohio last week. And now you got a Steelers defense with the Watt and boys on Sunday night, national game against an Aaron Rodgers, home game for the Steelers. I hate to say it. There's a Jets loss written all over this. So they got the Steelers, then they play the Patriots, and then they play the Bills again. So, you know, the Jets could easily be 3-6. Let's give them the Patriots win. Let's say they lose to the Steelers and the Bills again. That's 3-6. Going into week 10, they would be. Even if they split, let's say they split these games with the Bills and the Steelers. 3-5. And listen, the schedule gets way easier after that. Let's take a look. The Jets actually, after these, Jets actually have one of the, and I look, this is actual real thing. This is not me just saying words. The Jets have one of the easiest schedules after these couple weeks. We go Steelers, Patriots. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Bills, the Texans. We play the Texans week 3. Even, honestly, a harder game than the Bills, frankly. Then we got Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks, Dolphins, Jags, Rams. And then December 29th, we play the Bills. So once we play the Texans, once the Jets play the Texans, Halloween night, by the way. So take that what you will. Texans, I love the Texans. You'll see in my weekly power rankings shortly. Then we basically have an easy, very easy schedule all the way up until December 29th. They play the Bills. So again, even if the Jets can, let's say the Jets, let's be optimistic. Let's say they win 2 out of the next 3. That'll put them at 4-5. Let's see. Let's say they run the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would put them at 10-5 going into play the Bills on December 29th. So even if they win 2 out of the next 3, then win 6 in a row, that'll still put them at 10-5. And you know it's inevitable. And this isn't any knock on the Jets. It's inevitable into the parity of today's NFL, which college football does not have at all. Which, you know, our new weekly segment we'll get to before we do the picks and going over last week's pathetic college football score. Even if they win 2 out of the next 3, then run off 6 in a row, they'll still be 10-5 going against the Bills December 29th. So in all likelihood, they'll have 8 or 9 wins, 9 being optimistic, maybe 7. They put themselves in this position, and that's a heartbreaking thing. In the NFL, that's what makes or break a season. In the NFL, you win games like last week and against Denver. And we're 4-2 instead of 2-4. And so the Jets just continue, just like every year, put themselves in such a shitty position, but yet everything around them falls into place, and the Jets continue to just blow their own cocks. Oh, my God. Anywho, side note, how about Nick Sirianni, even in a win, just making a fucking fool of himself in Philly? I mean, they got to get rid of this guy. He's not a Saleh level clown, but they're in the same class. I mean, this Nick Sirianni guy, he's yelling at his own fans Nick, do you know you coach in Philadelphia, which are renownedly the most low-class, shitty fans on the planet? I mean, have some brains. Shut your mouth. And the team stinks. Eagles stink. And this guy's yelling at the fans, saying all this shit in the post game. I mean, what a clown, Nick Sirianni. At least he's taking some heat off of Saleh. I mean, Saleh is just unbelievable. But yeah, Nick Sirianni just embarrassing himself, laughing at the press conference about it. He's a clown. I can't believe they still haven't gotten rid of that guy. Oh my God. All right. Let's take a look at the college football scores from last week so I continue to be Stanislas and prove how terrible college football is, and anybody that cares about it is a sheep, and it just does it for a reason to drink and a reason to not look at their girlfriend or wife or whatever. It's all very much college football fucking sucks. No parity whatsoever. Here we go. Let's talk about week 7 of college football. Army 44, UAB 10, Clemson 49, Wake Forest 14, Missouri 45, UMass 3, Notre Dame 49, Stanford 7. This is all in 1 week, folks. I'm not making this up. This is how bad college football is. Anybody that tells you it's anybody who marks off a day to watch college football, you're an alcoholic or a drug addict. Just be honest of why you want a day off, because there's no reason to. I can't imagine sitting down and watching these games. You get like 2 or 3 good games a weekend. NFL, 1 o'clock slot, 4 o'clock slot. You're going to get 2 or 3 games in each time slot. Good games in each time slot. Like, it's laughable, folks. Notre Dame 49, Stanford 7, Texas 34, Oklahoma 3. BYU 41, Arizona 19. Jesus, all in 1 week. Boise State 28, Hawaii 7. I mean, college football fucking blows. Talk all this shit about players care, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, and neither should you. Do I give a fuck how much you care about a game? No. What are you, their mother? What are you, their coach? No. Shut up! We want an entertaining product, and college football doesn't deliver. What are you like? Oh, but everybody in the crowd chants at the same time. Grow the fuck up! Oh, but do you see how they play jump around in Wisconsin and everyone jumps at the same time? 49-10! 50-3! This is what you want? You couldn't pay me to watch these college football games. Terrible. So again, I love my new segment that I made up, and it's all me about doing the college football scores every weekend. What a terrible, fucking terrible product. There's the issue, as I said a billion times, but just to reiterate, in case you have any new people here, there's one on these big teams. There's 1 or 2 guys going to the NFL, and everybody else is high school all-stars. So the product on the field sucks too. Have you watched? There's no defense played. They can't stop these better teams from scoring. It sucks. Stink. God, so gay. Oh, but you see, they sing the songs during the halftime, and the mascot does and they got a horse on the field, and isn't it cool how everybody sings? Faggots! Get a life, go play video games, go drink soy, go join somebody's OnlyFans. College football is for homos and alcoholics. Rackmate! Now let's get to the power rankings, which everybody pays attention to. And honestly, this might be as easy as it gets, power rankings in the NFL this week. And I don't even see how anyone could argue with these rankings. At number 5, first time in there this season, and yes, the 5-0 Vikings are not in my top 5. I've watched this team play. Just like the Jets could be 5-1, the Vikings could easily be 3-5 or whatever the fuck. I don't do math. But the point is, I don't believe in the Vikings. I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. Never have. So at number 5, a team I do believe in, a team with some mojo, a team with some young talent that is getting better every week. The Washington Redskins, now known as the Commanders, number 5. Every other team is AFC, by the way. The NFC, there are very weak teams in the NFC this year. A very weak conference. Number 4, the Bills. Got to give it to them. Pretty straightforward. Number 3, the Texans. I really like what they got going on in Houston. They're starting to look like obviously a playoff contender, but perhaps an even Super Bowl contender if they can hold it together. Tons of weapons there, a good defense. C.J. Stroud, as I told you last year before he even played, is the real deal. Number 2, the Ravens, and number 1, as I say every week, until proven otherwise, it's got to be the Chiefs. So actually very easy. Anyone who argues with this is a mongoloid or watches too much ESPN. Number 1, Chiefs. Number 2, Ravens. 3, Texans. 4, Bills. 5, Commanders. Rack me. There's no arguing. That is the top 5 power ranking in the NFL. And anyone who argues that is a mongo, bongo, chimichongo. Fuck a pumpkin. Gosh darn it. Let me go through the poor people chat, see if there's anything worth noting. Patreon.com, Ski Mask Media. That's where you support us here. We do real shows here, just like old school, rather than just talking shit about old men and fellow people who don't leave their house. Who gives a fuck about any of these people? Let's talk about your life. Let's talk about what you're doing. Let's talk about sports. What did you do? I got a speeding ticket this week. I got my dog's eye ripped out. I talked to Aaron Berg. I talked to Gino. My God, I can't even keep track of what I've done. I didn't even get to my haircut. I guess we'll save that for Ski Mask, the flagship show. Courtney Brooks, still around. Good question. Yeah, I consider. Listen, as I said at the top, a high octane October. Unlike, again, all these other hack podcast hosts, they have these guests on just to, maybe this will bump the numbers a little bit. This will make it easier for me. Nope! I'm a real fucking show host. This is a real fucking show, and it's not a knock on Courtney Brooke or Victor or anyone, but I simply have no time for guests. I have shit I want to talk about. I can't be having Courtney Brooks' beautiful, beautiful tits and ass getting in my way, but she will be back. We still are in communique. We love Courtney Brooke, but yeah, again, we do real shows here. No clips, no snipes, no guests, no fucking any of this bullshit. I'm not begging you for money. Join the Patreon if you like, if you're entertained by this for $3 and you get shit. But good question anyway, Bad Bart. Thank you. Bad Bart's here all the time. A good egg. Blah, 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 blah. Boring. Yeah, good night, Mr. Thompson. This goes back to when I was ranting about Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Japanese Dodgers. Pro tip, don't touch our boats. Yeah. America, did you see The Undertaker and Kane endorse Donald Trump? Classic. What a time to be alive. Nothing of note. If you wanted to catch my eye, you could have super chatted. Thought on hanging out. I've hung out with Chad. He's a weird bird. He went home early, and I went and hang out with Kate Meany because I'm a straight, good-looking white man, and Chad got too drunk and went home. People hate when you tell the truth. Victoria, hey Dave, how you doing? Ooh, everybody here knows it's not a secret. I don't know if you're trying to be coy, but Victoria, slide right into my DMs. Send over your boob or your butt, and I will send you a picture of my fat Italian and Polish hog. That's a true story. Feel free. Ask around, Victoria. You won't be the first person I've offered this to, but quid pro quo. You send something over, I'll send you something over. Thank you for joining us. St. Ranger, legend, go Army. Da 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 pa pa, da 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 da, da 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 pa pa, da da. All right, folks. Hedging is for gardens. Me, press. Don't be a moron. Put more on. That's right. It's time for the picks that makes you grab your dicks. If you haven't already, kick your wife down a flight of stairs. Tell your kids you're not their father and to leave you alone, folks. You hear the music coming on. It's time for Nostradamus, Stansostradamus, the Aristotle of athletics, the Socrates of sport, the Nostradamus of national pastime. It's time for Jim Stansel's Stansostradamus NFL picks for week fucking 7. The upbeat rock music is playing. Let's take a look. Kick your whole family down the stairs and send your mother to a nursing home. You're going to want to pay attention to this because I'm never wrong about these picks. As those who watch every week know this. Hello. I'm just pulling up the spreads. Hello. What are we fucking doing here in the commercial? All right. Here we go. Shit show of a game. Pats at Jags. Another fucking London game. They're desperately, Roger Goodell desperately tries to have Jacksonville move over to London. If you haven't noticed, for you laymen that don't pay attention, for the last couple years there's been a lot of talk about Jacksonville moving permanently and being an overseas team, and they are really trying to bang that home. Anywho, whatever. Full day of football if you like that sort of thing. That's one silver lining. Who cares about the Jags? But 9:30 game, we got a toilet bowl of sorts. Although the Jags are getting it together, folks, as you'll see in a second. Pats at the Jags, neutral site in London. Patriots getting 6 on the road over in Limey country. As I hinted at, I think the Jags are getting back on track. I think the Pats suck cock. Give me the Jags -6. Not worth spending time on that game. Very sexy game here, folks. The Lions at the undefeated Vikings. Lions getting points, 1.5. Beautiful spot here for the Lions' first loss. Give me the Lions with the 1.5. Feel free to take that money line on the Lions. I think this is a no-brainer. Vikings are due for a loss. Lions are a good team. Give me the Lions plus the 1.5. Over under is 50.5, by the way. You're going to want to bang that over. Titans at the Bills. Bills putting it back together. However, the Bills are -9.5 at home. I'm taking the Titans with that 9.5. Bills win. Titans cover. Rack me. Let's move on. Eagles at the Giants as Giants are getting 3.5 at home. Years past, you might say, yeah, the Giants, conference game, divisional game, it's always a close game. However, the Giants are really that bad. Daniel Jones is fucking terrible. And as bad as the Eagles are coached and disciplined and all of that shit, the talent, too much talent there. Give me the Eagles -3.5 on the road at the I-95, Battle of 95 there in Meadowland. Bengals at the Browns. Browns getting 5.5 at home. Bengals and the beautiful boy Joe Burrow finally putting it together. Although this is another one of these divisional games, always down and dirty with the Browns and Bengals. So I'm going to take the Browns with the points at 5.5. I think this game's decided by a field goal or 3 to 5 points. That's why I like that hook. Bengals win, Browns cover. Stansostradamus, rack me. Texans at the Packers. Texans are getting 3 on the road. I understand the Packers have some mojo going there. This is the lock of the week. Give me the Texans +3. I think the Texans they're approaching the same level as the Chiefs and Ravens with the talent and the game plans they have going on there in Houston. Give me the Texans +3 in Lambeau. Hey folks, this game's for the birds. It's the Seahawks at the Falcons there in Atlanta. Atlanta -3 at home. You've heard me rail against the Falcons every week. Not so much rail against the Falcons. I'm sorry, to backtrack 5 minutes ago, because I just remembered, Sam Darnold is the quarterback of the Vikings. I said Kirk Cousins. I meant Sam Darnold. Yes. Sam Darnold will never be 6-0 in any league, and that's why they're going to lose to the Lions. Anyway, the game for the Birds up here. Seahawks getting 3 in Atlanta. Yeah, I actually will take Atlanta here in Kirk Cousins' home game. If they were away, if this was in Seattle, I would probably take Seattle. I like the Falcons at home. They are a decent little team. My point all these weeks is that all these talking heads are on their cocks for some reason. Give me Atlanta -3 at home. No hook, by the way. The Dolphins at the Colts. Both these teams are really boring. Give me the Colts -3. Who gives a fuck? Panthers at the Commanders. Commanders 9.5. As you heard earlier, my 5th-ranked team in the power rankings. I think the Commanders cover at 9.5, if you can believe that. I think the Panthers are that bad, although Chuba Hubbard, old mother Chuba Hubbard, having a decent year, if you actually look at the numbers at running back. But Washington Redskins at home against deplorable Panthers. Give me the Washington -9.5. I'm sorry, I keep trying not to say Commanders, but I'm looking at it. Raiders at Rams. Rams are getting 7. Raiders are getting 7 on the road. Give me the Raiders +7. I don't give a fuck about this game. Here we go, folks. Here you go. Chiefs' first test of the year. We got the Chiefs at the Niners. Chiefs getting 2. If you pay attention, you know where I'm going here. Brock Purdy is a decent to good quarterback, a great game manager, but not a great quarterback. Chiefs, every week they're getting better, and they're getting points. Anytime you see Chiefs getting points, you got to take it. Give me the Chiefs +2. 47 over-under there. Bang that over, by the way. Here you go, Sunday night. Jets -1.5 at the Steelers. Devontae Adams back with his old pal. Steelers, all the mojo in the world, national game. You know Tomlin's going to have them ready to play. They're getting 1.5 at home. I'm sorry. I'm pulling the counter page where I'm going to take the Steelers +1.5. I hope my Jets win and start to get this thing back on track. That way it makes it a win-win. That's how my brain works. So I'm taking the Steelers at home +1.5. I hope the Jets win. That way, if the Jets win, I win that way too. It's a win-win. That's how it works. It's how my brain works. And we got another week of 2 Monday night games, and fairly entertaining games, especially the Ravens at the Buccaneers. If you watch the show, you know I like what the Bucs have going on there. I've come all the way around on Baker Mayfield. Mike Evans still catching balls. A nice little running game. A decent defense. Be careful of the Bucs, Baltimore. The Buccaneers are getting 3.5 at home. I still think the Ravens, as I'm a man of my word, as a power ranking suggests, I have them number 2 right behind the Chiefs. I'm taking the Ravens -3.5. I could see that. Now listen, there's a very good chance. I'm still taking the Ravens, but I won't be surprised the Buccaneers win this game. And if they do, they will move a big notch up. I think they'll get on people. If they aren't on your radar yet, you mongoloids, they will be then. But I think that'll be a fun game. I think there's 2 talented teams Monday night with the 8:15 game. So get your popcorn, slap your wife, and tell her to leave with the kids. And you're going to want to sit down and for the 2 games Monday night. The first being the Ravens-Bucks, which I took the Ravens -3.5. The second being Geno Bisconti-Thompson's LA Chargers going down to fetal alcohol syndrome-ridden Kyler Murray. I mean, you look at his head. His eyes are wide. His eyes, Kyler Murray's eyes, wide on the side of his head like a fish. A mushed-down head, a bit of a mongoloidal cranium. Sure signs, and of course, the deal breaker for fetal alcohol syndrome quarterback Kyler Murray is his low IQ that he has. Very low IQ if you watch him play. So yes, all that said, and the the Cardinals are favored by 2, almost a pick. Anything less than a field goal for old Stansel is a pick 'em. Give me the Chargers minus the 2 on the road to round out the week, and those are your picks with big dicks here. The only sports podcast hosted by an all-American athlete. I grew up in sports. I was molded by it. I'm not one of these other shitty podcasters who everything has to be a money grab. Oh, let's add a sports show. Maybe that'll... it's so disgusting, these other shows. I really don't know why... we talked about it on Ski Mask last week. And I know everybody's like, oh, you keep talking about it. Well, yeah, that is what our show, especially Ski Mask Collective, is about. The official, unofficial MLC wrap-up show. Almost 300 episodes deep. We've been here for years, way before all these simp chatters and ball washers were here that still don't understand the show. I mean, they think the show is laughing at super chats. That's how low the bar for MLC has become. But anyway, my point is, I'm glad we had a ton of viewers today. I saw it coming across my desk. And all these episodes, thank you guys, on audio and YouTube. Everything bumps right up to those triple digits because this is real content. We're getting into new fan bases, getting away from these Dabbleverse fucking losers. You're all losers. You just talk about the same fucking 60-year-old men all the time. Get a life. Join the light side. And it's okay if you made a mistake this long, folks. If you are in that world, do what we did here. Realize it's slop. Grab yourself by your own bootstraps. Pull them over the head. Oh, boy, I may have tipped a lady's bootstraps over her head. And let's just say a mess was made and I needed a tarp. Yeah, we're talking about squirting. That's what happens. Where's Victoria now? Anywho, sorry, very disgusting way to end the show. Patreon.com, Ski Mask Media. Get there. Thank you to everybody who's been joining, by the way. Tons of content there. At least a couple new Patreon videos and audios go up each week. But join it. That's the best way to support us. Again, we don't derail our shows by begging or looking for fucking super chats. By all means, we appreciate them, but... no, we don't do it. We do real shows here at Ski Mask Media. Ski Mask Collective will be back. Oh, by the way, I think I always forget to mention it. These do get uploaded the day after Apple Audio, Spotify Audio. I personally rarely ever watch podcasts on YouTube, frankly. I always listen on audio. So go subscribe on Spotify and Apple. If you like the retarded shit we do, even if you don't listen to audio, just go subscribe there. Leave a comment. Kick your mother. Fuck Japan. Fuck the Dodgers. Let's go Mets. We got to win the Game 7. As I said, bringing it all the way full circle. Because I'm not going to talk to you again. You know, I'll probably do a live stream, which, by the way, all the Stanza lives go behind the paywall. Those are all on there. The only fully free shows that will be on YouTube and all that are Sports Mask and Ski Mask Collective. Every other thing you may see that we're live, that all goes private and put on the Patreon as soon as we're done. So that's how it works here, folks. So my point is, officially on this show, we probably won't talk until this Mets-Dodgers series is over. Hopefully we're talking about the Mets-Yankees Subway Series this time next week. But very, very good chance, almost 100% chance if this series does end, when this series ends one way or the other, I'm sure I will be live on this channel talking about it, but it will go up on the Patreon once I'm done. So let's fucking go Mets. Fuck the Dodgers. Fuck Octane. Fuck Kamamoto, wherever the fuck his name is. Fuck Japan. My grandfather was bombed by Japs, and we sent Nagasaki and Hiroshima back to the fucking Stone Age, and I'll be damned if the Mets don't send those Japs back to the Stone Age and back to the fucking golf course this weekend. Let's go, Mets. Count the troops. Bring home all the votes, and we shall see you next week. Let's go, Mets.